Volunteers in New South Wales are amazing. They make a difference to our communities in so many ways. The New South Wales State of Volunteering survey revealed that 3/4 of adults volunteered in 2020. That's nearly 4.9 million people across our cities, rural and remote New South Wales. Each of these volunteers gave an average of 25 hours per month, a total of 1.5 billion hours in 1 year alone. The value of this volunteering to our state was $127 billion. So where are all those hours spent? What are millions of volunteers giving their time to do? Let's discover more about volunteering in New South Wales. Volunteers can give their time formally with charities and not-for-profits, or informally, helping others within their communities. Volunteers in New South Wales do a mix of these. When volunteering formally, volunteers shared their skills and labour through a range of roles, including organisation support, advocacy, and providing advice and training. Even more people gave their time volunteering informally. These volunteers gave their time to help others in their communities who are not family members. This informal support included activities such as domestic work, home maintenance or gardening, transport or running errands, emotional support. COVID-19 changed how volunteers gave their time in 2020. Perhaps surprisingly, more people put their hands up to help. An extra 100,000 people volunteered. The amount of time volunteers gave also increased, from 24.2 hours per month to 25. The way people volunteered also changed. Volunteers were less likely to be involved in formal ways through organisations and were more likely to be volunteering informally. There was also an increase in the amount of volunteering that happened online or at home rather than out in the community. These changes may reflect a number of factors. Some organisations were unable to continue operating during lockdown for health and safety reasons. If they did continue their services, volunteering had to move online rather than in person. An example of this is rather than volunteers visiting aged care residents to have a chat and connect, contact was maintained through Zoom calls or by phone. Volunteering adapted and grew during the COVID-19 pandemic. Volunteers not only give their time, skills and effort, they are often financial supporters of the organisations they volunteer with. During 2020, 1/3 of volunteers donated money to organisations they volunteered for. This money is above and beyond the time they gave or money spent on their own volunteering. With so many demands on all our time, why do New South Wales residents volunteer? We asked volunteers to tell us what their main motivations are. Volunteers told us they do it to help others and contribute, make social connections, use their skills and experience, learn new skills, gain work experience and confidence, support a cause. Volunteering benefits both volunteers and the recipients of the services and support volunteers provide. We have learnt that volunteers in 2020 gave more of their time than the year before, but we also know there are barriers to people volunteering. What are they? We asked current volunteers why they don't volunteer more, and non-volunteers why they don't volunteer at all. The main barrier for both groups is time. Over half of volunteers and 2/5 of non-volunteers indicated they had no time to give to further volunteering or to volunteer. Health reasons were also a barrier for volunteers and non-volunteers. The cost of volunteering was also given as a challenge. In 2020, we saw an increase in the number of people volunteering and time they gave. But will that continue? What does the future of volunteering look like? We asked New South Wales residents if they were likely to be volunteering more or less in the future. 68% of volunteers said they would be volunteering about the same or more in 3 years' time. Only 11% of non-volunteers intend to volunteer in the future. A lot of people were not sure what the future of their volunteering might look like, especially those who do not currently volunteer. Overall, the future of volunteering looks good, with people intending to keep volunteering. With nearly 4.9 million volunteers across New South Wales, the size and impact of volunteering is undeniable. Volunteering builds social connections and skills, training and experience for volunteers, and stronger, more connected, resilient communities. Thank you to all the amazing volunteers who are giving every day to make New South Wales the amazing state it is. We applaud you all. You can learn more about the state of volunteering in New South Wales on our website. If you would like to join this amazing group of people, check out our website to find out what volunteering opportunities are open in your community. Be part of the power of volunteering.